Welcome to this episode of Scale Your Sales podcast, listed number 9 of 43 best podcasts for every sales professional. Now, I'm your host, Janice B. Gordon, the customer growth expert recommended by LinkedIn Sales as one of 15 innovating sales influencers to follow. Now, in this episode, I'm going to share some of my insights with you on why 6.0 version. Now, I am currently in Tromsø, which is in Norway, above the Arctic Circle, and I'm looking up at Aurora Borealis, which is the Northern Lights. The beautiful dancing waves of colours and lights is been on my wish list for a while. So this year is very much a celebration year, and it's also a good time to reflect. So I'm going to share some reflections with you in this episode of Scale Your Sales podcast.
And the party is on. So
I don't know about you, but at my stage of life, I'm less afraid of sharing my experiences and my opinions. Now, I've been really lucky to have many valuable experiences working and traveling to 52 different countries, gaining fruitful lessons along my path. With less savoury experiences of racism growing up in the UK, I've had to jump higher despite the hurdles and put myself forward, really. But I haven't always had the confidence to do that. Now, I've gone full throttle into career and personal and professional development, business failure, and I've had many successes. So I wanted to celebrate the insights from not only some of the failures, but also some of the successes as well. Now, I'm still learning to be the woman I want to be. So it never ends. You know, I recently heard myself saying to a really good friend of mine, Patricia Fripp, I'm living the life I'm meant to have. And you know, when you catch yourself saying something, you actually listen to what you're saying. And this has become my mantra. And as I enter into my 6.0 version of myself. So this is quite it is a milestone year for me. Milestone for several reasons. Now, I've spoken on my biggest stage in front of my largest audience of 2,000 revenue generators, CROs, CEOs, sales leaders, founders. It was incredible. I can tell you, I was terrified, but I did it, which means I can do it again. So I often encourage people to push your boundaries. You never know what you can do until you do it. So I've spent a month this year in Antigua with my family, which was incredible. We had a wonderful villa and shared many memorable experiences. I also stayed on to work remotely, and I thought, I could do more of this. I mean, I do normally, but not necessarily in Antigua, which was amazing. I got my swim trucks and my flipping floppies. I'm flipping burgers, you at Kinko straight flipping cabbage. I've just completed a month in America, again with family, but also working. And I've got another month in America still to come, which is quite exciting. Now, I've planned trips flying over the Grand Canyon. And if you look on my LinkedIn, you'll see a post that I did about that. Incredible. I've been to the Grand Canyon before, but I couldn't afford at that time, over 30 years ago, I couldn't afford the helicopter. So I decided I'm going to treat myself in this milestone year. I've mentioned the Northern Lights in Norway, but also I've got a trip to Japan. Always wanted to go, always wanted to see the cherry blossom. So I've got that to look forward to. You know, I love experiences. I mean, that really is the essence of life. And that's what I put myself forward to. Doing things I don't know if I can do, but it's an experience. So I'm going to put myself forward. Now, all this is in celebration of obtaining 6.0 version of the life I'm meant to live, the person I'm meant to be. And I'm really grateful, very, very grateful that I've worked for incredible clients, from clients in South Africa, Egypt, Jordan, of course, the UK and the USA. And I hope to cover many more continents with the clients that I've worked with. As an example, one company I worked with, I was warned that there were a few that would be particularly challenging. You know, people don't know I have a superpower. To connect with people and see more than they can see themselves. So then I get them to think about their own greatness. When I identify unique strengths or connections they've made, or, you know, their perspective of the world and why it's really great, they start to see it for themselves. So I help them to see their paths to reaching their own greatness, and using this new skill set that I might be giving them, or, you know, the unrealized strengths, in order to do what they can only do. I've often said in speeches that we all have a unique DNA. Even twins have their unique DNA. And there's a reason for that, because we're here to do something uniquely different. So it's about discovering what that is and going out and doing it. Now, what I've learned, really, I understand it's not enough to have the will to do something, you know, without the belief to do something. So if you can help somebody have the belief in themselves, which I haven't always had in myself, I've had to learn this, but also have the belief that they can do things, that you know, it is possible. That's all you need. It is possible. So why not just do it? So that's one of my superpowers. Now, the sales operation has transformed and will, within the next 9 months, it will continue to transform. Now, so for this company that I was working with, I transformed their sales operation. So in 9 months, they grew their business by an additional $10 million in revenue. Far exceeded their quota and expectation. And that's really just by taking each of those individuals, giving them the belief system that they're meant to have, a new set of skills, a new set of possibilities, and getting them to try it. And then they share the lessons and the insights and the successes with the rest of the team. And that grows their belief. This is exactly what happened, and this is how they achieved these incredible results. That then went on to help the organization to make the significant transformation in the culture, the way they think, the way that they operate, to actually support these incredible salespeople. So that's often what I do for organizations when I go in and help them to achieve their goals, but doing it in a very customer-centric way. Now, most people say that I look 15 years younger, which is brilliant.
You seem hardly to have aged at all.
I do. But what's more important in this kind of reflective process that I've gone through, what's more important is really mindset. Stemming from this is strong genes handed down to me by my amazing parents that had tenacity, but also taking on that tenacity to invest in my mind and my body. I've exercised and yoga, meditation for more or less all of my life. And that helps you to create the mindset you're supposed to have in order to have the life you're meant to have. So that's what I would like to, one of the insights I'd like to share with you today. You've got to invest not only in your mind, but your body that supports your mind as well. And you've got to have the tenacity to do it consistently. You know, leaning into what I know and the experience that I have and trusting that I know what is best for me. That's taken me many years. I spoke at a TEDx talk and talked very much about how other people that will want to advise you, their advice is based upon their experience, which is based on historic experience. So when you're planning to aspire into the future and people are kind of warning you off it, well, it's very limiting their experience. And basically what I've said is you need to ignore it and trust your own instincts and push your own boundaries. It's not very well saying this to people, but it's something that I do continue to do, and it's one of another lesson or insight that I'd like to kind of share with you here. So I used to say, if it is to be, it's up to me. I used to say this over and over and over again. And sometimes I didn't always have the belief. I didn't always have the will to actually make it happen. And a lot of that's changed. And that's why I'm loving this 6.0 version of myself. Because if you do not have the belief, it doesn't matter if you have the will, it's not enough. So I really wanted to share that with you. The beauty of achieving my momentous 6.0 version is that you do not have time to waste. Well, I don't have time to waste. I don't know about you. It's really now or never. So it helps you to be a lot braver and just go for it. Just do it. And there's going to be people that are blocking your way, but that's about them, not about you. So I've recorded some fun videos. I've called them 6.0 tips because I think I've got something to say. I think I've earned the right to actually say what I want to say. So I wanted to celebrate with you my coming of experience, I call this, and ask you, what version of yourself are you living now? Is it a version that your parents, your teachers, your boss, has given you? Or is it really the version of, are you living the life you're meant to have? If that answer is no, then I'd like to ask you, why not? Why are you not living the life you're meant to have? There isn't anyone else that's going to predict your life but you, because you're the one that creates it. So start to reflect on and think about the life you're meant to have. The other question I have for you, are you being the person you're meant to be? I'm still learning and earning the experiences to be the person I want to be. That's why I'm always pushing boundaries and going out, because I need to discover what that is rather than limiting myself to what was. So are you being the person, the man, woman that you're meant to be? If not now, when? As I said, I haven't got time to waste, and I hope you haven't too. Life is so precious. As I am looking at the northern lights, it really does make you reflect and think about how special, how unique you are, and how special life is, and how you've got to really grab it by both hands and run with it, and don't allow anyone to push you down, and don't allow anyone to say that you can't, you're not good enough, all of that. You're in control of your own destiny, so go out and get it. I hope you found this uplifting, inspiring. I hope you're really thinking about what version you are, what version you're meant to be, and you're going to start living that version and really embracing life. Stay safe, stay well. Thank you so much for listening to me. And please do comment and let me know what bits really resonated with you, what you're going to do with it. I'd really love to create an impact. That's what I want to do. That's what all of us want to do with our lives. I really want to create an impact and ensure that you live your best life as I plan to and am living mine. So please do join me on future podcasts. They're not all like this. If you're a regular listener, you know I talk a lot about sales to help, my sales audience to be better sellers and work in the best interest of their customers. Next week, though, I am going to give you some insights, some stats, and share some stories. But because this is my momentous week for me, I wanted to share that with you. All right. Connect with me and leave your comments. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. This is Janice B. Gordon signing out under the stars. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Scale Your Sales podcast. If you like this discussion, feel free to listen to other episodes or watch the captioned show on YouTube and subscribe to future episodes. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a positive review on iTunes. Thank you.